Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 6-game NBA main slate on Wednesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and I also make videos for NBA Top Shot. If you're unable to watch these videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. Link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. And if you could take a minute out of your day, leave a 5-star rating and review. Every rating boosts me up in the podcast ranking, so those do help me out a ton. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that at patreon.com, an esports package. That includes Call of Duty and CSGO. We get CSGO slates every single day. It's always nice to have a sweat in the morning. We got Call of Duty slates usually 4 times a week, and then I also offer an NBA package. And I do want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this episode. If this is your first time watching or you're not familiar with Underdog Fantasy, they offer daily fantasy snake drafts as well as best ball. So if you're a big best ball player, you should check out Underdog. And they have huge tournaments going on for NFL, like $1 million to first. After you guys sign up and make your first deposit, you can use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You will get a money back guarantee up to $100. And finally, again, we just hit the 9,000 subscriber mark a couple days ago. I want to thank you guys for all of your support. I want to give a special shout out to Uncle Paulie today in the live stream. Hit me with a $125 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Again, that was so generous. Really made my day. Also, Tori, you're in here every day with the super chats. Thank you for the super chat. Same thing with you, Patrick Bush. Love you guys. You guys are the best. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy this content, if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check it out, and let's aim for 150 likes on this video. I say that every video, and I'm not sure if we've ever hit 150. I think we get like close, so if you could, that would be nice. Again, every like boosts, the video up for, more people to see. So, all right, well, before we talk about players and their prices of the 6-game slate, we can look back lineup here from Tuesday. So Tuesday right now looking pretty good. We'll see how it finishes. I can get out of the way so you guys can see. But yeah, so the slate really changed about 15 minutes before lock when we got that Joel Embiid ruled out news. Once that happened, my whole lineup changed. I went from Luka, KD, and who else did I have? I had one other star. I don't know why it slipped my mind. Right? I had 3 stars, and I pivoted to, I guess, still stars and scrubs, but a couple, I wanted to get those Philadelphia guys in. So, Ben Simmons, low on 1 for 42. Tobias Harris, only 37. Expected a little bit more in that matchup. Dwight Howard was a little bit disappointing. He was very popular. It was him, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman. There's a lot of good, value bigs. I went with Tillman and Howard. I think Clark actually had the best game of the bunch, but yeah, I'm not, super mad about Dwight Howard. Expected a little bit more there, but, I thought he was a solid value. I got a little bit lucky with Jalen Harris. I did not feel good about it. I talked about this in the Patreon stream. I was like, oh, man, I'm using Austin Rivers and Jalen Harris as last pieces in. Like, I do not feel good at all. Rivers was all right. Jalen Harris actually had a good game. Got lucky there. Sabonis low-owned. Again, once Embiid got ruled out, that's what I'm saying. The whole slate changed for me because then I was really high in the Philly guys. And then I loved Sabonis because he didn't have to play against Embiid. And I knew they would start Mike Scott. For some reason, they always start Mike Scott. So Sabonis kind of had his way. He once again went for 60. I mean, he is... God, I love Sabonis so much. He is so good. KD, a little bit tilted about the minutes for him. He only played 32. He's been averaging like 40 a game. This was close. For a second there, I thought he wasn't coming back in the fourth, and I was going to be very upset. He did come back in, just kind of had a subpar game. But you got to look at it at the slate, right? I avoided chalk Luka, and I got super lucky there. Like, Luka was a solid play. He was like 50% on the higher dollar stuff, and he just, awful game that got killed. Also, it's early right now, but Steph Curry is somewhat popular. He had a bad first quarter. That obviously can change. Like, I'm scared of not having Steph Curry, but that's it for the look back my lineup. All right, so now we got to talk about Saben Lee really quick. All right, so let me just get this straight with Saben Lee, okay? I am not saying he was a terrible play. All I said on Twitter was, I thought Saben Lee was a little bit over-owned, and he had like a ceiling game. Like, you can't deny he had a ceiling game. And yeah, so I was like, oh, somewhat chalky Saben Lee going for 40. Great. And then someone was like, why didn't you play him? And I laid out my thoughts. I was like, hey, with Josh Jackson back, Saben Lee wasn't going to play a ton of the 2, was my thoughts. I thought he was going to play more of just the backup point, maybe get about 20 minutes off the bench. He was a fair value. In my opinion, though, I thought he was a little bit overowned. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm only right? Because you guys know those other, there's a lot of DFS providers that are just, or like DFS content people that are just like, it's their opinion, they're right, and you're wrong no matter what. No, that's not what I'm saying. I could be wrong in this. My opinion is I thought Saben Lee was overowned, right? I did. I was expecting about 20 minutes off the bench. I thought it was fair value, but he was about 35 to 40% in the higher dollar. He had a ceiling game. He shot lights out. He had like 2 blocks and 2 steals. So I was just tilting about that. And then I have like a bunch of people down my throat. They're like, oh no, you're wrong in this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, agree to disagree. They're no, you have the wrong opinion. I'm just like, I just got one thing to say to you. RELAX. Relax, bro. Okay? I am not saying that Saben Lee was a terrible play. All I said was I personally, and I could be wrong here, I thought he was overowned, and he obviously had the ceiling game. If you can't admit that you can't admit that you got a little bit lucky with Saben Lee tonight, then just like you're full of it, right? Like, come on, 40 from Saben Lee, really, with Josh Jackson there. So just had to get that out there again one more time. I am not saying that my way is the highway and I'm right. All I was saying was I was stating my opinion, and I like to tilt a little bit on Twitter. If you don't like that, that's fine. You can unfollow, right? RELAX. Man, Twitter is just like. So it's not ever, it's select few. Most of you guys are great, but it's just like 4 or 5 people coming at my throat for that. I'm like, chill, okay? So that is it for the look back. We'll see if this holds. Right now I'm winning 500. I'm in 11th place. We'll see. We'll see how it finishes. I'll let you guys know in the comment section how I end up finishing. But all right, just had to get that out there because I was like, man, again, some of you guys are ruthless on Twitter. Ruthless. It's like, stop being an internet hardo. All right. We have no games out right now for NBA. So 6-game slate. Let's get into it. They finally priced up Westbrook, 12.4K. I still think he's underpriced though. I think he should be 13.5. I think he should be 13.5K with no Beal. So I am going right back to the well with Russell Westbrook. I know he's priced up. That price might scare some people away. Not me. I'm going right back to Westbrook. I still think he's a great play. The rest of the Wizards, all right, now I actually have to take a deep breath because we got to deal with Scott Brooks, and this tilts me. Oh, man. All right, so Rui Hachimura plays him 28 minutes. Like, he is your second best player. Play him more. It's not great to see that he played under 30 minutes. If I knew Rui was going to play 35 plus minutes tonight, I would play him. The reason I'm a little bit hesitant, his coach, right? So I do like Rui, but it's not great to see that like the minutes haven't been amazing on him. I do think he should be their number 2 with no Beal. And again, he was up to 7K. He was 7K plus when Brad Beal was out earlier in the season. I think some people forgot that. Rui was great. He was going for 35 plus a game. So I like Rui. I'm just not sure what the minutes going to be. I'm going to say that about a lot of these Wizards because, again, Scott Brooks. Raul Neto at 4.7. Played 31 minutes. A fair play. Don't love the price, but not the worst play on the slate. Davis Bertans, you guys know the drill. He's got to hit his shots, right? He has to. He'll play about 30 minutes. He still has a low floor, and he's burned me a lot. He did come through for me the last slate, but I just never have a good feeling playing him. Again, minutes should be there, just whether or not he hits his shots. The center rotation, God, I don't know if this brings me so much pain just talking about this Daniel Gafford, for some reason, only playing 15 minutes. Alex Len probably only plays 12 to 15. Robin Lopez has been the guy the last couple games at 3-1. He's cracked 20 plus 2 of the last 3 games. if you want to take a shot on one of these centers, go for it. I think one of them have a good game. Again, though, the minutes are never secure, so it's really hard to trust. Ish Smith off the bench, I think, is a pretty solid value. We probably get somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes. And, when Westbrook's not out there, he'll be kind of leading the offense. I was definitely tilted that Chandler Hutchinson played 25 minutes. They ran with him way too much, I thought. He had 2 blocks and 3 steals, too, so I'm not expecting that again. I'll probably pass on a guy like Chandler Hutchinson. And that is it for Washington. Oh, wait, they did start Garrison Matthews, but I'm not playing him, right? He played 14 minutes, super score independent, probably not going to play a ton. Moving on to Atlanta. So I like the main 4 guys. I like them all last slate. They came in at low ownership. I like them all again. Trey, Capella, Bogdan, Collins are all really solid plays. Trey Young was 12% last game. He went for 50 plus. This is a great matchup. The price went down. I really like Trey at the price. I think Capella's a good tournament play. We finally saw a ceiling game from him, 22 boards. Again, he should be able to feast against his front court. Bogdan Bogdanovic, if you can't afford Trey Young, I'm good settling with him. He should play 35 minutes. DeAndre Hunter coming back didn't really hurt him. I like Bogdan a good amount. And I like John Collins at 6'7", who played 30-plus minutes. If we're going to get over 30 minutes from John Collins, he does seem a little bit too cheap here too. So all 4 of the main guys for Atlanta I think are pretty solid. Gallinari at 5K did lose minutes with DeAndre Hunter back. I'm probably not going to do it. DeAndre Hunter is out. So, yeah, he only played 14 minutes, but he's out. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could go Gallinari, but And Kevin Huerter probable. Like, the minutes will probably be there for him. Fair play. But really, I want to focus on the main 4 guys there for Atlanta. All right, San Antonio and Brooklyn. So, I actually do like some Spurs here. Up-tempo game. DeRozan. DeJounte Murray. Can we talk about... They had scored 146 points against the Bucks and blew them out. They blew him out, and DeRozan went for under 30 fantasy points. Like, that is insane. I like DeRozan. I think he's a pretty safe play with upside. DeJounte Murray. Upside is there. Floor a little bit lower. I like both the main Spurs. I mentioned I like Jakob Poeltl. I was like, hey, he's going to come in at low ownership. And he almost went for a triple-double. 9, 10, and 8 with 3 blocks and a steal. I love targeting bigs against Brooklyn. If he's going to play 30-plus minutes, I like Jakob Poeltl at that price. And then even the value is viable because of the matchup. Keldon, Lonnie Walker, Rudy Gay, all guys that are playable. Keldon probably plays 25 minutes. Again, he's been up and down, more of a tournament play. Lonnie Walker has been getting solid minutes. He's been playing well. And then Rudy Gay off the bench should get over 20 minutes. So all 3 of those guys are playable. Even I think like Patty Mills had a pretty big game. I don't really trust that. But yeah, the Spurs are actually a team I kind of like today. Now moving on to Brooklyn, it just depends on Kyrie Irving, who left the game, did not suffer a concussion. Okay, so... we'll see if he's available to play in this one. If Kyrie is in, then, both stars look good if Kyrie and KD. If Kyrie's out and Harden's still out, I love Kevin Durant. Now, again, a little bit tilted. He only played 32 minutes in a close game because previous games, 41, 40, 40, and 36 where he got foul trouble. So, right? We got the floor minutes for KD. That kind of hurt, but... assuming, Kyrie and James Harden are out, I love Kevin Durant at the top. And then we got to talk about the value. And we'll start with a guy like Mike James at the flat min price. We know he's a solid point per guy. He played 27 minutes today. I would like him a good amount for value. I think Landry Shamet at 3.8 becomes a really solid value play, even though he's been bad recently. He'll play minutes. And then Bruce Brown, too, at 3.9K. That seems way too cheap. So, really like Bruce Brown. I like Mike James, Landry Shamet. That's if both Kyrie and Harden are out, right? So those guys all look pretty solid. Just keep an eye on the news. Boston and Cleveland. So is Evan Fournier just the best player in the world now? What has gotten into him? He is shooting lights out. He has literally gone from being one of the worst players to start his career with Boston to now he's just playing unreal basketball. Evan Fournier. I'm a little bit biased because I hate playing him, but right now he's playing big minutes, and the way he's been playing, he's too cheap. So I think Fournier is a pretty solid play in the mid-range. I don't think he continues to shoot this well and play this well, but hey, I cannot deny how well he's been playing. So I have interest in Fournier. As weird as that sounds, I think Tatum at 9.4 is viable. Don't love the price, but it come down a little bit. Matchup against Cleveland is not the worst. Kemba Walker, been a little bit up and down, but the upside is there. More of a GPP play. And then Tristan Thompson. So how many minutes did he play tonight? I know the stats aren't out there yet, but let's take a look. Where is the Boston Celtics? So he played 28 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so feels it's a revenge game narrative, but feels a little bit overpriced. Moving on to Cleveland. So thank God Kevin Love is back, because I really just don't want to deal with this value for the Cavs. The main guys, Sexton, Allen Love, they're contrarian plays. Chetty Osman is questionable too. I'm hoping he's back, so we really just can ignore the value. Okoro had a big game last game. Deed Wayne had a big game last game. That was with Love out. With Love in, they don't look as good. Especially if Chetty's back into him, probably just going to avoid this team. The bench guys, again, if Love in, kind of takes them out of play. So there's not a ton of love for Cleveland right now. If Chetty's out and Dean Wade starts, he's fine. He played 38 minutes the last game, but he's had some low floor games, right? That was with a lot. That was a Love out. There was no one to play, and he played 38 minutes. So I think Wade is fine, but not my favorite value with Love in. All right, New Orleans and Dallas. So Ingram doubtful. Lonzo Ball at 7.7. The minutes are not huge for him. I think he's a fine play at this price, but would have wished he was playing 38 to 39 minutes. Right now he's playing 30 to 34. I still think he's definitely viable. NAW seems priced about right off the bench. Should get about 25 minutes. I'm a big NAW fan, but don't love the price point. Bledsoe probably gets about 30 minutes. Again, doesn't really stand out at that price. The guy I do like once again is Hernan Gomez. The issue is he's going to split the minutes with Jackson Hayes. So unless something happens to Hayes, there's no real upside in minutes for Hernan Gomez, right? They're going to split it pretty evenly. I think Hernan Gomez is the better point per guy, even though we saw a couple ceiling games from Jackson Hayes. So Hernan Gomez, I think, is a fair play in the mid-range. And then James Johnson and Najee Marshall, fine. I think both get about 30 minutes. Johnson, we know, is a good point per guy, can stuff the stat sheet. Najee Marshall went and finally had a decent game. Again, they're both fair plays. And then, Jackson Hayes was popular because the back-to-back 40 games. He came back down to earth a little bit, right? I think he's a fair value. Again, he's going to split the center minutes with Hernan Gomez, but that's probably it. Kira Lewis, how many minutes did he play last game? 19. Yeah, you can take a shot on him for tournaments, but it's not something I feel really good about. Moving on to Dallas. So what, I am speechless. I'm speechless with Luka right now. He's going to be low owned. He burned a lot of people last night. This is a good matchup. I'm fine going back to the wall with Luka, but right now it's hard to feel good about him. With the way he's playing, it is hard to feel super confident about Luka Doncic. Hardaway feels a little bit pricey. Brunson off the bench is fine at 4.6. He had a nice game, kind of in garbage time, though. We know he's a solid point per minute guy. With the centers, if you play Dwight Powell, he got ejected. He's been their best center. Him and Cauley Stein will split the center minutes. Maxi Kleber also came back. He did only play 14 minutes. I just need Porzingis to come back, because I hate dealing with these value centers for Dallas. They're all playable, but no standouts. All right, Portland, Utah. So my favorite play, once again on the Blazers, is Yusuf Nurkic at low ownership, up for 45 last game. This is a tougher matchup, but he should get about 30 minutes. I'm still fine going to Yusuf for GPPs. With Lillard and McCollum in this matchup, again, I think more tournament plays, but Lillard has been unreal. He had that 149 fantasy point game. Other than that, he's been 50-plus every night. So I'm good riding the hot streak with Lillard against CJ. They're just playing huge minutes. So I like the main Portland guys for GPPs. Norman Powell even had a ceiling game last game, went for 44. Kind of feels like chasing, but I'm not going to talk you off him if you want to go there. But yeah, really the main guys, Lillard, CJ, Nurkic, I all like for tournaments. On the Utah side, I'm done with them. Done with Ingles. Was looking good last night, and then he 2 to 3 fantasy points in the second half. Kind of done with Joe Ingles, which means he's going to have the ceiling game tomorrow. You lock it in. What we do at 33 shot attempts for Jordan Clarkson last game. 33. If he's going to play 35 minutes and shoot the ball 30-plus times, yeah, I like Clarkson for GPPs. Now, he's gone for 44, 45, and 54 3 of the last 4 games. I like Clarkson a good amount for tournaments. Bojan, also reliant in scoring, but the upside is there, right? Just inconsistency. 31, 29, 66, 28, 42. So if you're shooting for the upside on the Jazz, it is Clarkson, it is Bojan Bogdanovic. I probably give the edge to Clarkson. I think he can do a little bit more of the peripherals, even though both are score independent. Again, I'm kind of done with Ingles, which means he'll have a ceiling game. Rudy Gobert at 8.4 just doesn't really stand out. And then O'Neal, Niang, fine value plays. Let's finish up with Houston and the Lakers. This is pretty big news. So right now, Wood questionable, Jeffries questionable, and House questionable. If they're all out, it's back to an 8-man rotation for Houston, and it's back to me liking a lot of Houston guys. So, assuming everyone that's questionable is out, I like Kelly Olynyk as a spend up. He's not playing huge minutes, but he is the number one on offense, super high usage guy. I don't care about the matchup. I'm fine going to Kelly Olynyk if all those guys are out and it's an 8-man rotation. Also, KJ Martin, going to play about 40 minutes. Would like him even at this price. Jay Sean Tate probably gets over 30 minutes. I think he's a solid play in the mid-range. Kyrie Thomas off the bench has been great at 5'6". We probably get about 30 minutes from him. Like him. Don't mind Armani Brooks at 4'8". Lamb's been awful, but it's an 8-man rotation. You can take a dart in him. DJ Augustine played a little bit more. He's a solid point per minute guy. I play him. He goes for 6. I fade him. He goes for 27. But yeah, assuming he starts again, I think he's a fair value. Now, and then we got to mention Cam Oliver too. He's a big. He played 19 minutes. I think we get similar run from him. If we do, I actually kind of like him at the flat min price. Now, if House is in, Jeffries is in, and Wood are in, then I'm probably going to stay away from this Houston team because then it's an 11-man rotation. So just keep an eye on those injuries. They're massive, right? If they go from 11 to 8-man rotation, I have a good amount of interest in these Houston guys. And finally, the LA Lakers. Depends on LeBron. I think he's coming back. Is there anything for sure, though? I don't think it's confirmed for sure, but if LeBron James is back, then it makes it tricky. I love the matchup, but there's blowout risk. Caruso would be out of play if LeBron's in. It'd probably just be LeBron and AD at the top, maybe Drummond for GPPs. But if LeBron James is out again, then I like Anthony Davis a good amount at the top. Then Drummond again. We know he's a frustrating roster, but he could have a big game, more of a GPP play. I would really like Caruso because he would probably play 30-plus minutes and play a lot of the point. And then guys like KCP, Kuzma would be viable as well. So it really depends on LeBron James. If LeBron James is out, I have some interest in this Lakers team. If LeBron James is in, it's probably just the main guys for me that I'm looking to. All right, that's going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content this far, I would really appreciate if you have a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream.